That's one of the things we're looking out for. With not a lot of games, not a lot of time left, you really have to wonder what the strategy is for the teams that do not have their spot secured. And Fortnite doing a little celebration. You got to imagine they're smooth sailing with a spot on lock. And this is where you're going to see in this last game, depending on where you're at in the leaderboard, some teams may go wild with keying players in the lobby, playing for elims. Others might have to play so safe, it might not be what they're used to.
Trip and Fred, I mean, they were feeling good from the dances we saw going into the match. Just about to pick up another one in the 2v1 here. I mean, they already have 6 elims, Jacob. They want to make it 7 as they continue to apply pressure, but be careful. I don't want to make a curse happen here. There it is, though. 7 elims now. How did they get the previous ones? Like, I want to know. Are they hitting crazy snipes? Are they just pushing everybody? They're looking quite unstoppable.
Yeah, I think we both need to know, because this isn't the same Tripper and Fortnite that we saw in Major 1. They're here. They're out for redemption. And this is how they're picking it up. Not just one. There goes the first snipe. There's still 2 other solos left in there with that dash medallion. He makes the second one look even easier than the first. And Fortnite smooth sailing. Green lights ahead. Him and Trippin finally solidify this last elimination. Really no hope or chance for their opponents because they didn't see them coming.
It's the best way to get eliminations by surprise. And now 62 players up, 33 duos. This is going to be officially the last match for these players. They've got it in just in the last queue. As a reminder, there are 250 duos competing today. 5 lobbies being played out at the same time.
And with that, you see a couple players, as usual, positioned on top of Rift Island. Few tools for mobility in those launch pads down below Rift Island. Rifts that do spawn up as well. There's Dre and Darky seeming like they're ready to fight. And you got to imagine why a team would pick a fight list like this. They are separated above the island. They might not necessarily been having the history on their side in today when it comes to Surge, so they might want to isolate a fight and get it. But as soon as Darky does land a couple of shots and reunite with Dre, it looks like they feel like their job is done.
Trying to see here once this refreshes 100 or 1081 above the Storm Surge threshold, Jacob. With only 3 elims, you can tell they've done more than enough damage. I also like what they just did there. Flowberry Fizz plus launch pad to get as far as they possibly can into the zone. You can see deploying and redeploying your glider to try and evade the shots from the players who are already boxed up. As we got Jordy and his duo partner here. Speaking about edit courses, he's given us a primetime example of how to do one with a little pickaxe finish to it. The icing on the cake, little cherry on top. What a way to finish it off.
What a play. Let's watch that one again. There goes the first one. Boxes him up rather easy and then puts the cone down with the pickaxe. Both of them actually went in, probably playing whack-a-mole of who can get it first.
You can tell that they're feeling confident too. Look at the way they're getting closer. They even know there's opponents close by. Took a pause there, was waiting to see if he can connect this shot. So close, but unable to. They are going to get the loot, though, from those eliminations. And now they kind of got to figure out they have to make a rotate. They can no longer sit on top of this mountain as Zone has pulled away. But there's not too many duos in the area, so it should not be a problem for them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little easier of a rotation. Might take just a little bit longer and expend some builds, but Kovacs, you can see Stan just trying to go around the backside of this mountain. It's the summit base. Decent loot over here. Some metal that you can gather, and there's even a launch pad at the backside of that mountain as well. So definitely giving themselves a few options they can use depending on where this next zone pulls.
Take a look at what happened here with Kiro. It was Swizzy that got put to sleep alongside, I believe, his not his duo partner, but another team. Now for the duos that have to kind of rotate in, they have players like Swizzy and Vanyak, who, if I'm hearing that sound correctly, Jacob, they got the waterbending mythic, and with the elevation they have, you know, they're just letting everyone in the lobby know that they're looking for them. They're doing as much damage as possible with the infinite ammunition you have with that mythic. would be annoying to play against that.
Especially if you're one of those teams that are at the bottom, kind of going through it. Then you have to worry about the top. With Swizzy, takes a little bit of that piece control, fires that first shot over, just trying to back down his opponents. Him and Vanyak, even though we haven't seen much of them, you can kind of see through their points, the consistency. Not really taking too many risks with only 2 eliminations, and they're 900 above the damage threshold. And you can kind of see building up, using the Flowberry Fizz before they rotate again. It feels like almost every single one of the moves, whether it's a big one or a small one, is calculated in terms of risk.
Still four bananas in hand, sorry. Which has been a game-winning factor for some of the previous duos we've seen. So Vanyak and Swizzy, they'll continue to rotate. Maybe become a bush camp dad strategy there in the tree, but what did Kiro just do with a quick headshot snipe? I'm loving the snipes today, Jacob. I mean, we're getting a show, but maybe I spoke a little too soon because the highlight reel, they forgot to cut that one early. It's okay, though. No worries. We saw the shot.
We are definitely seeing a few more players kind of get caught off guard in certain rotations than I would have kind of expected up until this point. And it's almost that risk reward. Do you take the sniper? Do you take extra heals? And I think for a majority of the players today, we've seen that risk versus reward play off plentiful. 182 above the damage threshold for Perceive. And he right now with that sniper, he's just looking for another opportunity. You know, the zone is kind of pulling in their favor, and he's just trying to look as far out as he can see to try to land the shots just like that. Another 116, bumping him even further up the damage threshold.
That's huge, actually. I believe they were under 200. They had 100 and something damage, so that snipe is going to be crucial to being able to stay up even longer and not have to focus on doing anything a little too overly aggressive. Dirty. Edit course again. Hopefully they can show us another one. But they got to be careful as their floors are trying to get them drop down into a trap.
And that's the thing with you're on the stack side of the zone when you get a far pull just like this, and then you hear so many players firing off on one another. Kind of makes you second guess when and where to rotate. For Jerdy and Edit course, you see the information that they're gathering by peeking through the cone is going to be important. And now they're ready for their Flowberry Fizz rotation. For them, earlier is going to be better to try to not fall behind everybody else that has to focus on Surge.
Whoa. For Doxy Trip getting knocked out. Jerdy Edit course now trying to get away from the engagements here and get to zone. It has pulled almost all the way north. So it's a far rotation for a lot of the players here. It's like they already have their... I thought this was actually their base, but it's not. It's an opponent on it, so for a moment it looked like they were almost going to drop it down, but they just want to make it their builds. And I guess they're going to do a rotate a little slow here, but people kind of do their thing and then use the banana and Flowberry combo to continue.
Yeah, they want that speed boost, a little extra on the height. They could possibly jump from here all the way to the front side of the zone, but they actually choose to waterfall down just a little bit, negating the amount of distance they can cover, but upping the amount of safety they're going to have. As Curiosity looks towards the back, doesn't find what he sees, trying to stay close with default, but finding any nook cranny to go ahead and rotate to safety, leading the charge for him and his duo, and they finally catch up. 245 above the damage threshold, which isn't too bad, especially since placement points are now beginning to ring in with top 20 positioning.
The good part about being able to box up in a position like this is you can re-farm all those materials that you might desperately need.
No.
As another duo goes down. Swizzy Vanyak now continuing to hold on strong. They have not been forced into any aggression. They have so much loot, so much materials that they just have to play it safe here. Trying to scavenge as many points as possible. This is the last match of the qualifiers. The last opportunity for these players to make something happen. So they want to maximize it.
Yeah, you see the double banana being popped by Swizzy and Vanyak. Even though they're taking shots, their main focus is getting from one place to another. 798 above, spotted out a solo. That's Jerdy, who is going to get taken down. Swizzy bites off just a little bit more than he can chew, but luckily Vanyak is there. Not only to make the edit for him, but get his HP back on up before they pop the next legendary banana and finish their next rotation to the zone.
Other combo to rotate. The banana Flowberry once again. You can see how much height, how much distance they can get with a single jump. As Swizzy's looking up, he's looking at the clouds. Is he going for what I think he is? The high ground retake from Swizzy and Vanyak. This could be huge, game-changing if they're able to do it successfully. And it looks like they might have just done it, Jacob.
Yeah, I chased that one player off, but everything just turns sideways. It's just unfortunate that you get height like that and you have a fight for it and nothing comes out your way. As Stan and Kovacs, they're trying to hold strong. Got to be second height as of now as they continue to look down, fall below. They don't have the builds to maintain their position. So you got to think this is going to be a great play, but even flush out almost as Kovacs builds just one box, leaves himself with 7 builds.
His duo partner, though, no shields, low on HP. They do have 3 med kits. So depending on what their game plan is, they could play it a little slow. Kiriachi goes down, though. Default left as a solo. He has a gas can in his inventory. He could disrupt this end game if he feels like it. 14 HP, 22 HP. 14 shield, sorry, 22 HP. But you got to be careful with the duo coming in. He has to defend himself here and no medkits. Forced to go closer to the zone. Just 2 HP now, 1 tick away from getting eliminated.
Yeah, he doesn't have builds. He doesn't have HP. Doesn't even have a teammate, but he's still figuring out a way to make it work. Top 9 position. Getting ready for this next one. This is going to be the make or break situation for Default. The zone pushes in. He finds one knock on the stand, but goes down directly after. Unfortunate circumstances, but while everybody is down below the bottom of the mountain, there's one team high up on the clouds without a single worry.
It's Vanyak trying to hold on, trying to close it out, but Dre doing what he can to stay up. Fed Nemo, though, down below 6 elims. Make it 7 as they recuperate a bit of the materials. 5 total duos up right now. A majority, not a majority, but a lot of them back in the zone. You got to be careful now. Medkits being popped, shots being put to work.
And they're going to be able to get that one. Final 4 teams left alive, even though some of them are solos. Capalot goes down. Fetty's there to kind of spark the med kit, but I do think he got it forced to cancel. So Nemo, he's trying to scrounge around. Vanyak from above falls down at the perfect time to steal away the loot from his opponents. He still has the win condition in hand with both the banana and the splashes.
Can Vanyak close it out as now there's a duo on low? He needs to make something happen from above, and that's it. The pressure being applied as he's dropped down. 38 HP to work with. Banana popped, forcing himself to recuperate that HP. He has minis, he has a flowberry, but it's all about hitting his shots.
Yeah, and it's a 1v1 situation here. He does have the 2 legendary bananas, but that's not going to lead to a massive heal off depending on what they have on the other side. So Vanyak just waiting for that perfect moment. With a few builds left, he knows he's going to have to drop down. There come the shots in. The banana is going to be popped, staggering himself just a little bit, changing up angles with the side shot coming in. First shot's going to get landed. The Flowberry Fizz giving him extra elevation, and then the final shot is in. Vanyak wins the game.
What a way to close out the match, from retaking high ground in the moving zones to playing from the clouds as a solo and finishing it off. No materials, forced to pop the banana, played it slow, played it calm, played it collected, and finished it off, hitting his shots and taking home the win.
Yeah, I gotta have ice in his veins. They're on the high ground, they're on height. Vanyak ends up as a solo, and he's still brave enough to not only go in, get the elimination and all that loot. And that's going to be a huge difference maker when it comes to the leaderboard. Swizzy and Vanyak win our final game of the day. And this is where it's really going to come down to which teams made it up the leaderboard enough to get the series points they need, and which ones would just end the day just a little bit disappointed, thinking what more they could have done.
It's been a crazy day, Jacob. Sniper shots being hit, some heal offs, but a majority of the players just dominating on height. We saw basically highlight reels being made, but that's it for me and Jacob here casting these games. We'll be back for the semifinals May 10th, but let's close it off on the desk. Frankie, Levin, Mini, what's changed?